I caught myself saying, I feel like I'm stuck in the matrix. I really do feel like that sometimes, especially with all this stuff that's going on, everything, but specifically I'm talking about like with AI and how fast everything is moving. I'm just like, I just feel like I'm stuck in the matrix. And I'm like in here looking out like this doesn't feel natural. This doesn't feel right. And I know I can't be the only one who feels that way. But it reminded me how I started to say that. I started to say that saying like back in high school, whenever one of the movies of the series came out, The Matrix. And even in high school, I used to be like, I feel like I'm stuck in the Matrix. Like everybody else is just like kind of going about their business, but I'm just like, no, there's something weird about this. And I had a couple of friends who had similar thoughts and beliefs as me, but I feel like majority of people are just like just going about their day and being okay with it. But anyways, that kind of made me think about how I always am looking kind of at the other side of things. Like I always feel like I'm looking at the alternative, or just like there's always another side to something. I don't want to say I'm a skeptic, but I don't know, I'm just cautious, or maybe I am a little bit of a skeptic with some things where it's like, okay, that part might be true, but let's also look at this part or this side of things. And that is kind of what I have been doing. It made me think like that's kind of also what I have been doing with my health and stuff over the years, and how I got really into like alternative medicine and holistic health. And because I was like, I'm definitely not one of those people who is all the way only alternative medicine. Conventional medicine is like there's an agenda, and there's some people who are all the way like that. But I'm just also not like conventional medicine is the 100% the way to go all the time. Believe everything that they say. No, I'm in the middle. I'm in the middle. I would say maybe a little bit more on the alternative side as well, though. But I think, there's definitely conventional medicine, absolutely, is so helpful. Like there's so many beneficial things to conventional medicine. Like I mentioned before, even me, in the beginning when I got diagnosed with MS, multiple sclerosis, I tried to like do a little bit of alternative things at first. And then I started to take this one medication, but it made me sick. So for years, I didn't take any medicine. And I wouldn't recommend that, especially with, again, more chronic diseases. Like sometimes if you're not on medication, you are causing more harm to yourself over the years. Again, everybody's different, but anyway, so I'm back on a medicine, but it's a different medicine now. But so far it seems to be working. But one thing is, other than that, majority of everything else that I do is very much more just like natural healing and things like that. So like I've done a lot of little things like coffee enemas, parasite cleanses, gut cleanses. One day I'll show some pictures and, show you guys maybe in a little bit more detail about some of the alternative things. Oh, the gallbladder cleanse. Oh my gosh. Crazy. Don't really recommend that. But I don't say I regret doing it, but also don't necessarily recommend doing what I did. But one thing that I did want to talk about today was one book that I thought was really, I don't know, it just really interested me. It's called You Can Heal Your Life. And so as I mentioned, like, got cut off there. But back to the book. It's called You Can Heal Your Life. And like I was saying, this is a book that it interests me. Again, I'm into stuff like this. So this book is about, she kind of talks about how our emotions and things like that can, sometimes have a direct effect on our body. So, you know, it can, I won't say it cause, but it can contribute to some of our ailments. And, you know, I do think there's some truth to that. So I'm going to read a couple that, you know, resonated with me because I've dealt with it, dealt with the ailment. So one is shingles. Again, like I had mentioned in one of my other videos, I had so many random things over the years, even when I was like younger, even before I was diagnosed with MS. I actually had shingles, which is crazy. I was like 19, I was in college, and it was just kind of like shingles. Like when I was telling my family I had shingles, they're like, usually only older people get shingles. Like, what's going on? And so in this book, it'll list like some, you know, causes or things that, you know, like emotions that could have contributed to it. And then what does she call them? Like affirmations and things that you can kind of like say to yourself to kind of release it. So with shingles, it says one of the causes could be waiting for the other shoe to drop, fear and tension, or being too sensitive. And at this time of my life, this definitely resonated with me. I was kind of just like very stressed in college, and it was just kind of just like, you know, why aren't things working out for me? And I don't know, I was just having a hard time. So, you know, again, that resonated with me. And the affirmation is, I am relaxed and peaceful because I trust the process of life. All is well in my world. Another one that I wanted to talk or to read is gallstones, which I had gallstones at one time. This was when I was a little older, so I was out of college at this time. So some of the cause or, cause or something that can contribute to this is bitterness, hard thoughts, condemning, and pride. And oh my gosh, this one resonated with me even more. At this time of my life where I did have my gallbladder issues, it was a little bit after I was diagnosed with MS. And of course, I was kind of at that moment where it's just like, why did this happen to me? I was a little bitter about it. Also was, it was a hard time. I was just not in a good space in my life. I was at a job that was very stressful. I was working odd hours. I was working at a hotel, actually, the Marriott, and I was working that night shift. Oh my gosh, it's so hard, especially whenever like you're still living life in the daytime with everybody else, and then having to go to work at like 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. And not to mention, I was in school at this time. So it was just like I would go to work 11 p.m., 7 a.m., then go to school, like, you know, take some classes for college. And it was like one of the just most stressful, hard times of my life. And I had taken time. The reason why I was in college at this time is I had taken years off from my original college years because my dad had passed away. Like my senior year of college, my dad passed away. And then, you know, a few years after that, I got diagnosed with MS, and it was just like, I cannot focus on school. I cannot. And so, you know, I took several years off. And, you know, at this time, what I was mentioning is when I was like trying to get back into school, I just wanted to graduate. I wanted to just get it done. So yeah, those two really resonated with me. And I think actually MS might be in one of these two. Let me see what it says here about that one. Mental hardness, hard-heartedness, iron will, inflexibility, and fear. And then my affirmation is, by choosing loving, joyous thoughts, I create a loving, joyous world. I am safe and free. So yeah, I don't know. Again, these are, you know, I do think there is some connection to some of these things, but obviously you can't take any of the stuff for like 100% truth, but because there's nuance to everything. But I don't know. I think I do think there is some truth to it, and I just wanted to share that with you guys. And if it resonated with you, or, you know, yeah, anything that you wanted to kind of say about anything that I mentioned, I'd love to hear it. And also, just side note, I just had to say, like, I really am laughing about my setup right now. I do not have a phone stand, so I had to like get one of my chairs that are like a little high, for my high top in the kitchen, and I just like propped my phone up on this, and it actually worked. You know, I was hands free. I was able to show you my book. It worked out, but I thought that was funny. But anyways, I hope you all have a great day or great evening, great night, and I will talk to you soon.